Well, here I am again in Tumor Town, thinking, you know, I'm sure, it crosses everybody's mind, you know, how are you thinking about dying? I mean, there was a great old folk song that talked about the taste of endless time, you know, like it lingers like a rich red wine, you know. And we all have that taste of endless time, for the most part, you know, until you hit Tumor Town, or I would assume any terminal diagnosis. That thought of endless time tends to walk away from you at that point because you don't really have it. Your time is numbered and you know it. You just don't know when precisely. Now, I've never been one for dying. I hate the idea of it. I just absolutely hate it. I mean, in the worst case scenario, the thought that there's nothing, that I just die and that's it. I never know me again. I never taste, smell, hear, feel, see, remember anything ever again. You know, my consciousness never exists again. It was just this brief little illusion, and there you go, poof, gone. That's a very cold, cold thought. You know, I don't know. Nobody knows, you know. But we all have to find out, don't we? Because we're all going to die. I don't want to die. Trust me, I don't. If there were things I thought I could do to extend my time, buy me some quality time, whatever, I would do it. I truly would do it. But I don't think there is at this point. I don't know. There's nothing I can see right now. And I mean, I don't begrudge the fact that I have cancer, or COPD for that matter, you know, or the triple bypass or any of it. I mean, I'm genetically predisposed to have clogged arteries. I know that runs in my family, you know. And I've lived my life the way I wanted to, right? I smoked cigarettes and tobacco for 50 years every single day. Loved every puff, you know. I'm not gonna, what can I say? I was smart. I knew the risks. I'm not an idiot. As much as my wife pains her to see me do that and to be now right where she thought I would be. But I did it. I did it. And I'm a very picky eater. I probably never exercised enough. I did all the things, to bring me to this point. I just, would have hoped that it would have happened, you know, 10 years from now, maybe. Just give me another bit of time to try to recover, particularly now. I mean, my original game plan was, that I would retire when I was, 78. And my wife, or I'm sorry, when I was 68 and my wife was 65. That we would be able to basically retire. We would still have enough money in the company that we could pay ourselves salaries for another year and then take our Social Security. But we wouldn't, and we could still do a little bit of work if we wanted to make enough money to get ourselves another second year out of the business if we really wanted to. That's the way things were going. And we would have hopefully held and had, a decent pocket of change. And we would have had both of our, Social Securities to rely on, which are very minimal because we never made big salaries, you know. But, you know, that didn't happen. So here I am at 66, getting ready to kick the bucket, you know. And in a world that is just so screwed up. God, I could have never imagined a world this crazy. Never. Never in my wildest imagination could I have come up with this, you know. And I've looked and watched, you know, people's into, you know, near-death experiences, this and that there is, you know, an existence after death, you know. And I realize, you know, if you're a Christian or something, you know, you've got your heaven and all that sort of stuff, you know, but I don't have any of those real beliefs, so I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know how it's going to come to me. Am I going to be already like, you know, morphine-induced coma and just don't even see it coming, you know? Will I actually have to be awake and aware when it comes and suffocates me, you know? I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it, I'll tell you that, you know. But, you know, as I've said before, nobody should feel sorry for me. Nobody should be, you know, poor Bruce, you know. I know the risks. I know the deal. I just hope it doesn't happen to anybody else, you know, like this. This has not been pretty. This has not been the last year or so that I would have, you know, wished on anyone. You know, to think that it's going to, you know, continue on like this. I mean, if somebody said, you know, you're going to be just the way you are right now, but you're going to live another year or maybe two, holy moly, I don't know that I could do it. I honestly don't know that I could survive it. Don't know. But I'll tell you, when you first get that diagnosis, when somebody says you got cancer, man, that hits you like a ton of bricks. You know, it's something that's always in the back of your head, but you never really, you know, engage it as a real thing that's going to happen. You know, there's a finality to that, and it changes. You know, I mean, I'd like to think, you know, like some people that I'm, you know, I have some epiphany that I would, you know, sit here and be, you know, soaking in the beauty of the universe and the world around me and all of that, you know. And I try. I do. I try, you know. But I don't get like a bliss moment out of it. I don't get like a Dalai Lama, you know, moment from it or anything like that. I don't. You know, as much as I'd like to. I mean, I've had those moments, you know. I've stood on the beach at 3 in the morning, an empty beach with a beautiful full moon, looking at all the stars, wondering what's out there, knowing just how small I really am and how unimportant I really am, but how connected I am to everything around me. I've had those moments, you know. Just like the moments when we were in the Ocala National Forest, tripping, you know, on a lunar eclipse. That was something. That was a connection moment, you know. I've had them. I've had them. So dying to me is still, as bizarre as it may sound, is still an abstraction. As hard as that may be to believe. I know it's coming. I know it's right around the corner. I know it's knocking on my shoulder. But I still catch myself just not even thinking about it, you know. Still sitting in that, you know, taste of endless time. I do. I still sit there and think about it. I think I always will until the very end. I don't see how I can't. I don't know that a human being is wired to do anything else. You know. But everybody should know. It's not something I want to do. It's not something I would have planned to do. It's not something I'm looking forward to. But I will try to face it as best I can, whether that's as a crying, whimpering baby, screaming, no, 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 or as a peaceful, smiling, illuminated person, accepting the reality of the change of life. I don't know. It'll be one or the other. I'm assuming. We'll find out. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Peace and hang ten.